I'm Uguchi Magekoya and I welcome you out to my podcast, The Grey Area, where controversial issues are discussed and dealt with. So today we're going to discuss the part 2 of what we discussed last week, and that is childhood trauma. So let me just do a brief recap of what we discussed last week. We discussed how that childhood trauma can impact the lives of a child, a grown adult, so badly that you'll be wondering why. It can kill a child. When I mean kill, I do not mean physical killing, like physical death. I mean like it can kill the potentials, the God-given gifts, the God-given attributes, qualities that God has put or deposited in the lives of that child, and the child turns out to be something else that he or she can't even explain why or how. You understand? So this time around, we're going to discuss in the part 2, we're going to be discussing about healing, how to heal from your childhood trauma. I'm sure you're interested, right? Yes, I am equally interested too. Thank you. So how you can heal from childhood trauma? As much as childhood trauma can be so bad, it is not so bad, take note, that you can never be healed from it. You can be healed from it, but first of all, you need to identify first that you have a problem. Like I once mentioned in the previous podcast, the moment you identify that you have a problem, the moment you identify that you are traumatized, that is when you are one step ahead to getting your solution, which is your healing, right? Good. So I will give you an example because I've experienced it and I got healed. Yes, thank God. I was once traumatized, as a child, and I grew up with such trauma, and it really affected me. It killed many things that I knew I had in me. In fact, it killed even this ability to talk to you guys today. Yes. So for me to even sit down in front of you and talk to you guys, in front of the camera and talk to you guys, means I have healed from it. Yeah. So this is how it happened. So when I discovered, I told you that when I got to the higher institution in part 1, that when people started telling me those things I have, I knew I had them, but I was confused because I felt I didn't have them, because everybody around me, everybody I grew up with, my family members and my friends, even the environment I grew up with, they somehow made me believe that I no longer have them. Right. So when I got into school and I was reminded, yes, I'll use that word, reminded, that oh, you have these things, you have that thing and all of that, I was like, oh really, this is true. So first of all, I realized that I have a problem. I am traumatized. In fact, I have been traumatized and I need to get out of this thing to fulfill my full potentials as a human being, right? To fulfill my purpose, because these things, like I said before, are pointers to what you are going to become in life. So when I started working towards it, with help, with prayers, I pray to God. Yes, I'm a prayer person. Note that. I prayed to God to help me. I got connected with people who I trusted well here, and then I was sharing with them, oh, this is what I'm going to do, what I'm going through. And everybody I see, they were looking at me shocked, because they're like, how would you have such things like this, and you're thinking that you don't have it, or you're not good enough? Are you for you? So they did not judge me. They were just surprised that this thing is so bad, or this thing has impacted this person so bad, and all of that. And then they helped me, they assisted me, they talked me out of it. I had friends who consistently reassured me that NKC, you are good, NKC, you can do this, NKC, you can do that, you can talk, you are very good, you are beautiful, and all of that. Then me myself, part of the trauma I had was that they kept telling me I was not beautiful. So what I was doing was, I kept reassuring myself too. When I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, oh no, you're a beautiful girl. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. I kept reassuring myself and all of that. I kept reassuring myself, confirming those things that they were saying to me and all of that. And yes, and I also started working towards it. I started discovering that, oh, I had fear. Aside from being trauma, that trauma came with fear. Right? I started looking forward to killing those fear, aiming for those things. You know when they say face your fear, I literally started facing my fears. Those things that got me scared. Okay, I fear staying in front of camera. I started killing it. Started doing 1 or 2 videos and all of that. So yes, you can be healed. So this example I just gave you guys is just an example of how you can get healed. It is not streamlined to just you. Yes, maybe you may not have comfortable people you are comfortable with around you to share it with, but yes, just be rest assured that you can be healed. And first of all, understand that you have a problem, you are traumatized, and you see how that when you begin to face your fears, you discover those things you fear, those things you know that you have inborn, but you fear. For instance, you could be someone who love, but because of childhood trauma, I don't know exactly what your story could be. Because of childhood trauma and all of that, you are scared of entering into a new relationship or begin to kill those fears. Yes, by facing it. You can only kill your fear by facing it. You can't keep running away from what scares you. Yes, so that is it. And if you don't have anybody you could talk to around you, you can hit me up. Trust me, you can tell me whatever it is, and I would not judge you. And yes, I will be so glad to journey with you in this process of your healing. Thank you so much, guys. I love you, and see you next week, Friday. Bye.